you guys, it's time for us to get serious about stopping this Republican bill. And I say that because Senate Republicans are trying to push for a vote next week. And they want to rush this through before Americans find out what's in the bill. Because guess what? When Americans find out what is in this bill, they despise it. The polling is truly awful. But only about 50% of Americans even know what Republicans are trying to force through. So I'm going to sum up quickly what this bill does so that you can pass this information on to people who are not paying attention. First, there are the very, very big cuts to Medicaid. This is important to talk about. It's between $700 and $800 billion. That is almost $1 trillion they are cutting from healthcare. And before you say, oh, that was only in the House, the Senate version is going to be better on that. No, the Senate version has bigger Medicaid cuts than the House version. Also, it cuts SNAP. This is nutritional assistance. This is going to affect senior citizens. It's going to affect children who will no longer have help at home with food, and it will also cut their free lunches at school. It's going to affect many tens of thousands of veterans. The SNAP cuts are another big chunk of this bill that they are using to pay for their tax cuts for the richest people in the country and for the biggest corporations. Another huge part of this bill that we're not talking enough about is the fact that it cuts a whole bunch of clean energy tax credits. Now, you may be somebody who's like, I don't believe in climate change. That's fine. We can agree to disagree on that. What should matter to you is that these clean energy tax credits were creating hundreds of thousands of jobs, mostly in Trump voting districts, and those are all going to go away. There is also unanimous agreement that this will drive all of our electricity bills up because I guess they're not high enough already. There's also a new provision in which they can sell off millions of acres of public land for oil and gas drilling and other fossil fuel extraction. Very unpopular, but it's in the bill. This budget also triples ICE's funding, guts funding for Planned Parenthood, which means that about 200 clinics across the country would have to close, increases the Pentagon's budget by $150 billion, and I would just like to point out that the Pentagon has not passed an audit in 10 years. This bill would also get rid of the SAVE plan, which is a way for student borrowers to save a bunch of money on their bills. As a result, the average student loan payment will go up by about $250 a month. It also contains a national private school voucher program, a ban on regulating AI in the states for 10 years, limits on a court's ability to issue temporary restraining orders. They even got rid of taxes on gun silencers. Oh, and finally, Senate Republicans want to raise the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. Even though Republicans are making about $1.4 trillion worth of cuts, this bill will still add at least $3 trillion to the deficit. Y'all, it's a total abomination, but Republicans really believe that they can pass it before Americans clue into what's happening. It's our job to make sure that doesn't happen. Share this with everybody you know. Here's a script for you to use, even if you've never called before. Call after hours if you're nervous and just leave a voicemail and tell them, don't you dare pass this bill, because when we fight together, we win, you guys. So let's do that.